Okay.
I do what you, or do you want me to just leave it on?
Just leave it.
Okay.
And the AI. I want
The AI is on. The AI is on right here.
Okay.
It should be on the background.
Thank you.
No
Because you see,
problem.
I'm technically savvy, baby. I know everything.
I am too, but don't be. I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't be like, yeah, could you come?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I would call him heel, but I think we're.
One game, yeah. Let them.
All right.
do it.
I'll go on the other side. The USB is in. He's set up. He knows what to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
just launch the browser.
And it's recording. It's taking notes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it'll be dead air for about 5-6 minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
So where do I hit the share for this?
So we go to more,
Oh, I can't. Oh, it's back there. Okay.
and then share. Yeah.
And share.
Share.
Got
And then it will show you like the options.
it. Well, then I just launch the browser, right? Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. She'll be on the other. Yeah, I mean, you can.
Sitting in front of me.
Right. What do you mean?
So I don't like it.
Oh, I mean, you can grab it. You can wherever you want, wherever you feel most comfortable. This is your.
That's
Oh, I see. Well, you can like turn it around if you'd
I
like.
guess right here.
Yeah. Up to you. Completely up to you. All right.
We want everybody to meet.
I'll be on the other side.
I just want to make sure I feel fine. Talking to them, I'm not just looking at this.
Oh, it's not a while, so you can just. And if you want to, you can, take a look, pick, and right after, because it has the agenda and last month's meeting. Oh.
Yeah, gotta be careful. These things.
Watch yourself. One.
You go.
Mm-hmm. Even on this committee, I don't know where he is, but he's on.
You enjoying this weather today?
Oh, it's wonderful. And believe me, not what, I don't care what it does, Monday through Thursday.
That's what I was telling her. I'm like, it's nice on the weekends, you know what? It ain't all week.
Remember, it was a summer. Where Monday through Thursday would be bright and sunny. It rained just about every weekend.
That was last summer. Wasn't last summer like that too? Where a lot of the
It was a lot of rain, but it wasn't, this was like on schedule.
I'm gonna have to scroll through. I was telling Victor, I made slides, but I realized I have such a short amount of time, so I'll try to go as fast as I can because it's 20 slides.
It depends on who shows up. Well, I could move you to the presenters and then we'll have a little more time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like just maybe like 5 minutes.
Why?
I had done the first 2 slides, I've just been talking about my bio and who I am.
Right.
What I've done for the last 20 years.
I'd like you to meet someone by the name of Margot Moore.
Okay,
She works at George Bruce Library.
okay.
And if you could send me a bunch of your stuff,
Okay.
and I'll send it to her and see if, she's interested in showing it.
Yeah, because it was.
It's at the library.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because I have a body of work, and what I did was I did three slides of art. I did a book. I did art. I did a book. I was opening out its months of Life in Chairs. I have a book that I've been working on. That's a trilogy, and it's 3 books, 1,800 illustrations for the last 4 years.
Wow.
But I obviously I couldn't show that because that's just this I wish, but it's just too much. Too much.
Saying that, I love that.
Yeah, I was part of the team. I can't say that here either. That little labs, so MCB9 used to students of the world during COVID. We had a million users, helping kids create music together online. I was like, I can't cover all that. Such a short period of time. I was the CIO to WBLS for 10 years.
Wow.
So I've done tons, but I don't know how to cover it all.
Well, it's a little inclement, so we're gonna get together even if I feel this, so.
How are you?
Nothing.
What's wrong?
I can't find a third group to perform.
I know. I thought I had one for you. And they just called me and they said that they had to go out of, they're on some kind of summer something.
Either they're on something, or the 21st, everybody is busy.
Right.
Everybody's busy.
What's on the 21st? I'm just curious.
Oh, you'll hear all
Oh.
about on the 21st, we were trying to have a showcase of Harlem Youth at George Bush Library.
Oh, okay.
And so far I only have 3 groups, and if it's for 2 groups, it's not gonna be one.
What type of music?
Oh, whatever, it's entertainment, you know, anything other than a visual artist, you can sing, dance, spoken word, whatever.
Lincoln Center didn't have anybody?
Well, we were looking for like young people that are in the neighborhood. There are a number of like youth groups.
Yeah.
Well,
they're
there was
gonna
a
say
dance
that.
group and all kinds of stuff, so we were gonna try to have them actually come to give them like their own stage to showcase.
Yeah, because the reason I say that is I was at in School of Performing Arts recently,
Mhm.
and I had met some kid. He's actually from Washington Heights and Inwood area, so I mean, it's from the neighborhood, even though we attend school.
Yeah.
What does he do?
He's a violinist.
Give his number.
Don't quite check, but I can probably find out his number. I
Okay.
mean, I was at the school visiting a friend of mine who works there, so
Okay.
I mean, it's an ask, right?
Yeah.
So, but obviously they have a bunch of students
Right.
that live in this area.
And that's
Well,
the idea.
I asked Harlem School of the Arts and they said no. If they say no, I don't know what else to say.
Right, but I guess it's just as long as they're kid from this community, even if they're in Lincoln Center,
If
it's studying, but they're studying.
performing, I'd ask them.
And we also know that young people attract other young people.
Yes,
so,
right.
Is there
reach
age
out there.
group that you guys are looking for?
Anything under 18,
Anything under 18?
and if they look young, 25.
A friend of mine, Diamond, she's a performing artist. She's done a bunch of dance for a bunch of different theater companies. She lives right here in Harlem. I'm sure she.
How old is she?
I don't know how old she is, but she looks young. I'll ask her.
She can go for 18?
She might be able to go for it too.
There was two dance groups that I was actually going after.
Right.
And I happened to know both of their moms.
Oh,
And so I was trying to see if I could, so she was just like, yeah, I'll ask her. And then she said, oh, they're going to some summer thing that weekend. So that was going to work.
you know, I can connect you guys with Manway Addison. He doesn't live here anymore. He used to be the choreographer for Beyonce, for like Michael Jackson. He lived out in New York, but he knows like, I mean, he was with Saturday Night Live for years, but I mean, he was tons of people in the dance room. So if he's like someone,
Yeah.
you will call and be like, hey, do you guys know any dancers that are young?
That's fine, that is wonderful.
Just connect, you have just connect me, remind me, I'll CC you with Manway, and Manway will.
And I'll send you the reform letter that I
Okay.
send out.
Yeah. And for the people, that's introduce you guys to.
Have you guys been to Mama?
Mama is small.
Mama Foundation is like
Small.
nothing the week before or after. That week, they had it all. The whole company has had it. Yes, biggest organizations to say something.
Something family.
Yeah.
So. Big. So now it's
You're right. It's a small work.
I was there
Just
for.
made it up.
Oh, really?
Huh? During the heyday. I got
Mhm.
Harvey and Al Jackson was there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's there a long time. Good people, really. But yeah, just
Did you get my email?
What do you mean?
I sent you an email too on Friday and a reminder today,
Well, what?
taking the minutes.
I don't have a.
You have a phone,
So you dance?
you don't have a, you don't have.
That's what I did with you guys now.
Did you didn't, but you just did an email, but I just wanted you to tell me.
We can pull it out. Talking.
Oh, dear. There's no warning.
The weather.
I don't. All right, well, we're gonna wait a few more minutes and then we'll get started, and this will be the quickest meeting ever.
So when's the event?
It's June 25th, so you know, I could just send you the letters, you know.
Yeah. No, I'll shoot an email to Manway tonight and ask him if he knows anybody in that's 18 or younger.
Right.
That's in dance.
They would be interested in performing this from 2 to 4 in the 23rd.
They're from this community. This community.
Is he living in Hawaii?
He wasn't in Boston. Then he moved back to LA and now he's teaching children in St. Thomas.
Oh, okay.
To urban dance. So but
That's kind of funky, I thought.
he goes twice a year there now. Basically he's hired to teach them how to do dancing.
I saw it. But this time when Richard Pelzer said hello.
Oh, he knows who you are?
I used to represent him.
Oh, really? I'm gonna text him tonight and say, hey, he's doing really well, by the way.
I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but sometimes I follow him when he posts.
He doesn't post that often,
Right.
right?
See anyone else in your committee?
Did you ever meet?
We're ready for Walter and we're waiting on reserves.
They're on.
His husband's a vet.
Oh, really?
Let's see. We're just waiting for Jazz Power Initiative. The other two representatives. All right, we're gonna get started. Unfortunately, I think that some people may not have needed to play with the weather, but we'll call to order at 6:43.
Recording.
I think I am. Oh, you're not sharing it.
Oh, no. Okay.
You got a while this year.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to see. Let's see. I think it is recording.
Yeah, I think
Ewan, could you come off mute, mute?
Hey,
Hey, do you want to talk about, what you're doing tomorrow morning?
oh yes. Uh, Lofton and Phoebe from Columbia will be, well, joining the Harlem Culture Collaborative meeting tomorrow. They were requested to join us as a result of a number of partners being confused about the process or having tried the existing process, but just didn't have good outcomes. So we wanted to understand how to go about accessing space at Columbia, and Lofton and Phoebe offered to come explain. I did invite Ziad as well, but he about a week ago. Excuse me, but I haven't heard from him because I also wanted him to present um, his side of the process to make sure that we're all on the same plate. In addition, there are some partners who usually sign on to this meeting who have space available, at their institution. So they'll be able to talk about that as well. It's at 10 o'clock and it's virtual. And I guess the first half hour or so we'll deal with the space access. That's it.
Thank you. I hope you feel better.
Thank
All right.
you.
Community updates, Martin Collins. Let's see, Noma and West Harlem Arts Alliance next professional development workshop for artists, followed by Mix and Mingle is 5:30 to 8, Wednesday, May 21st. Uptown Stroll, May 30th, Friday from 6 to 8:30 at Sugar Hill Children's Museum. And jazz impresario Emmett Cohen and Grammy nominee Patrick Bartley live at 7:30 Tuesday, May 20th at Harlem School of the Arts, 645 St. Nicholas Avenue. A $10 donation is at 7:30, and a $10 donation is requested. Okay, that's the last of community updates. You're going to be a presenter. You moved down.
Well, we, this committee has been trying to work on the theater. Are you happy? Oh, okay.
You said old business.
But actually, it's kind of new business.
So can I ask you a question? Because it's my first time here, and I'm curious. All of these things that you guys are doing, is there a central place to see all of it, or is it just kind of random?
It's sparse. What organization are you from?
Oh, I'm just an artist and living here in Harlem, Washington Heights area. So
Are you on our distribution?
I sent it to you.
Oh, and I put it on.
yeah, and
today,
I
so
I
just put
get
you
them
on
in
today.
emails, but I'm curious. Has anybody developed a website
Well,
that links all of it?
no, West Harlem Arts Alliance, I think that's one of their goals, is to be the central repository for all this information. So,
So they're the ones that are responsible for.
Well, we kind of work in conjunction with them. They're like the we're just a community board. We're just in this different community, different organizations in the community board, but that's their thing. They all West Harlem Arts Alliance.
Okay.
So they want to consolidate all the artists, development things, organizations, individuals, etc. in Harlem and put it on one central list. Yes.
Right, and centralizing sort of.
Yes. It's as you can tell, it's a task. it's going because there's a lot of stuff going, and there's always stuff going on too. So I mean, adding to it. So
Well, it's exciting for me because that's why I
It
came
is.
here too, because I want to be able to
Welcome.
support
welcome.
in that aspect as well.
Okay, our first presenter is Richard Pauser.
I was gonna try to see if I would be able to use the computer while
Sure.
I mean, do you have a USB stick or? What do you have?
and I put it, I emailed it to
You do? Okay.
You'd be able to get down and browse there.
if it works. But while you're looking for it, my name is Richard Pauser. I'm working on an initiative called NYC by Design Festival. This is their 12th year doing the festival. It's all 5 boroughs. And I'm on the steering committee to represent Harlem. And our goal is to really make sure that we'll be able to discuss anything design, especially in architecture, landscape design, graphic design, commercial design. So I am piggyback off of what we talked about last month. And the RKO Theater, which is on Broadway and 146th Street, and them, reimagining what that theater could actually be. And I was sharing that Asa Balango in East Harlem actually partnered up with a architect firm, Dillard Scalvadio, and I forgot the last person's name. And they came up with the scope and the plans of what it's going to actually look like. I had a chance to go to their office to see the presentation. It was absolutely amazing. So I had pitched that we would do a NYC by Design Day here in Harlem. So the festival runs from May 15th through the 21st. All 5 boroughs comes up with all different types of events, tours, talking about different design and design elements. So we did this last year, and this year I decided that I thought it would be really great if we just also found one day, and we're looking at Tuesday, May the 20th. We're looking to do it at the Renaissance Hotel. We're going to curate the whole day. So we'll start off at about 10 a.m. in the morning. So a small press conference to be able to talk about it. And so as we were putting it all together, I'm working with Melissa Skinner. She was one of the former marketing directors at the Apollo. She's also assisting and helping put this together as well. We decided that I think that if we looked at a 36-month project or campaign, to be able to do it out a bit easier, making sure that the community is also involved in what this looks like. So the theme this year is design is everywhere. Design is for everyone. The concept and the idea is, well, what does that really look like, and how does it benefit as a whole? The week actually has over 160,000 designers from around the world that actually come. They're based, most of them are in the Tribeca, Soho, Meatpacking District with all of their events. The idea is, can we actually also bring them up to Harlem? If they come up to Harlem, what would they be able to actually do? So yes, we know that there's restaurants and bars and other things, but the idea and the concept is we would love to also have our own showroom or a space where folks would be able to actually see all of this. So I had the opportunity at the Harlem Arts Alliance, and they did a presentation on the African burial grounds that are in Harlem, and the design and what that's going to look like, and the designers that are working on it, the architects and the landscape designers. I thought that they were really great, and I think one of them is based in Harlem. I never heard of her before, so I thought that this is another way that we would be able to share that with the community as well, of jobs, and not only jobs but careers that folks will be able to kind of think about. We have 2 architect schools also here in Harlem, from Columbia to City College, showcasing or creating space that they would be able to showcase their work and talent. And so that was really the concept and the idea. And I just know putting projects like this, it takes a little bit of time. So it's hard to do it year to year, especially if you're volunteering your time to be able to get everybody in place. So this is our proof of concept of what we would like it to look like. Have meetings like this with Community Board 9, 10, 11, and 12. I also had the opportunity to meet with Tony Rogers at the Harlem Tourism Board, because I thought it would also be really interesting to be able to figure out, especially when it comes to tourism, how we would be able to create, not saying that I'm for assisted design or about tours for designers, But I think that if we want to do a church tour, be able to put that together, if they have enough time to curate that, or look at all of the theaters that used to be in Harlem. Because I got a chance to see a video that John Reddick did over the pandemic, and he just went from all of the theaters, which he actually said that this was like the Silicon Valley of entertainment and theater in the turn of the century, because there were so many theaters here, which I didn't really know until he actually shared that. And a lot of those locations were either transformed into churches or used in some other places, but you can see the architecture is still there. And I think that that's really fascinating. And I think that people from around the world would find that to be interesting if we put it all together. So if it doesn't work, and if anybody was interested in seeing my presentation, I have a little video there and some other stuff. So
Well, we're going to go to the next presenter, and I sent it to Ashley, and I'm gonna see if she can show.
Oh, okay.
Right back. Okay, you're pretty active.
It's not as probably long as the fence is yours, so it won't go too long.
Harlem One Stop actually produced that video, Richard.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was done during the pandemic, and we were looking at architectural structures, and we did a series, and that was one of the architect, what do you call it, the buildings that we looked at. I don't know if you watched the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing. It's wonderful.
Okay, because there was also the architect who restored the King's Theater in Brooklyn. He was a guest as well. He went through the process of what they had to do to get to the King's Theater to where it's at now. And from what I understand, they're still fundraising to finish the theater. Yeah. So it's a long process. Yes.
I had the opportunity to go to Newark Symphony Hall, and they're also renovating their hall too, and it's absolutely amazing. And especially with all of the film production companies that are coming in and building, they're also doing a whole educational part of it as well with gays and folks doing it. So,
and there's a community group on the Upper West Side that just bought a theater, the Metro, that had been closed for a very long time, and they raised enough money and also got public funding to purchase it and restore it as a film, it's a cinema revival film cinema.
Excellent.
And that was very recent.
Yeah, very recent, like in the last couple of months. But they had been fundraising over the last year, and it's amazing that they got to this point so quickly. But that's a difference between Harlem and the Upper West Side, people have more deeper pockets to fall in.
Okay. Right, so. Screen on here. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of information on me. So I used to be a tech guy. I worked for WBLS as a CIO for about 12 years. And then I kind of burnt out and I decided I didn't want to do tech anymore. So then I left tech and decided to do art because I was like, I always wanted to do art and I wanted to step away from it. I had burnt out, did 16 years of it. And I was in a relationship. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go do art. I'm gonna go do something different in my life. And art has always been something I wanted to do and get involved in. So then I ended up realizing that art can be the magic that makes someone believe anything is possible. And that could be music, that could be architecture, that could be anything that we do. So then I decided, let me start doing these small pieces of artwork. I picked up an iPad, I started drawing, I started doing all this digital art. And I ended up going back home to Massachusetts, and I was like, oh, I'd love to do a small project for this school. So I ended up doing this small project with this school called The Story of B. And it was about Black excellence, and I wanted to have little kids kind of be inspired by seeing these simple pictures of things that would inspire them to become something different. And so I made these small little images, be understanding, we all have hard days, be informed, we are a vessel for change. So I did 35 different images, we made them into little booklets, and we gave them to the kids so that they could have them and be inspired. And then this is what it looked like at the school. It was these huge 30 by 60 prints that we ended up doing for them. And then I decided thinking about hope and what does hope look like for us? And I wanted to start doing imagery and artwork that kind of inspired people to think differently about what life looks like and how we could be inspired to be better people, right? So I did all these different images and drew them and did all this artwork for it. And then this was something that I find interesting when you were talking about architecture. I was really inspired by Luna Luna. And I was like, it would be amazing to take all these playgrounds and that we have here in Harlem and kind of revitalize them and maybe have artists come and do similar to Luna. I don't know if you're familiar with Luna Luna the Shed. And like imagine a basketball court where we can make hearts and say Black Lives Matter, or a monkey bar with like handles that say you can be better, and invite artists to do these really cool playgrounds around Harlem and say, look, we want to see how you guys envision these cool playgrounds. And this was just an idea I had for basketball court. Like, wow, what if we took basketball courts and we painted these cool designs and did this beautiful artwork that inspired people to like look at it differently than just a piece of thing that they're doing sports on. So that was an idea that I had. And then it was just an art piece of art. That's part of my book. So I've been working on a book for the last 4 or 5 years. It's broken out into 3 books, 300 pages each book. It's about loss and love and everything that I learned about relationships over the years. And the 2 characters are called Miley and the Queen. And these are 2 prints from those characters in that book. I can't show all, obviously, 1,300 illustrations, which would be here all day, but these are some of the prints from the artwork that I had done. This is another inspiration drawing that I just did. It was called, it's just for remember love just isn't the person that holds you, it's also the one that catches you as well. And I wanted to do like posters that were inspiring again to people. And here's another one, be the light in your world today.
Have you ever doing cards?
I have never started doing them. Again, all this stuff I started doing, I was like, I want to meet people and say, hey, what do you guys want to create that maybe I can draw? I have tons of artwork. I understand technology. I was mentioning to someone here, it would be awesome to even have like locations around Harlem where we can do AR, augmented reality. I mean, I'm a tech guy, so we can draw like a Malcolm X and say, this is where Malcolm X stood. You could stand here and experience what Malcolm X's speech was like at that moment. These are things that obviously I'm available and I can do. I just need to know where to go and who to see and say, hey, let's do this cool thing. I mean, I've got a huge amount of people that are tech people that are around me that I've known for years. And I know a lot of artists around me. So I want to work with people. I go, hey, what are you doing that's architecture? Maybe we can do some cool artwork or booklet or your program, or maybe we can do something for Dance Theater Harlem. Let me know what it is that you're thinking of, or maybe we can sit, talk about some cool ideas that we can create together. Because I want to do stuff in the community, and I know a lot of young people that do as well. And oddly enough, they don't even know about these community boards. It's weird. I've spoken to them. They're like, really? They're looking for this, and I'm like, yeah, they are. So I want to be more involved in that. So here's another one I did. She knew her shine. It was for a friend of mine who owns a company called The Rap Life. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. She does head wraps. She was on Oprah's next, most popular list for women's head wraps. She used to live here in Harlem. She moved to Memphis, unfortunately, but she was here in Harlem, and she launched her own business from here.
Okay.
And this is a book that I'm releasing next month. It's called Sit Me Beside Happy, The Life of Chairs. I was sitting on a plane and I was like, wow, you know, we forget about humanity sometimes because we see each other, but we forget the things we go through. So I was like, what if we created an inanimated object and we had to look at that animated object as a human being as opposed to another human being where we take them for granted sometimes. So I started doing 50 chairs, envy, um, of bullies, heartbreak, underappreciated, right? So, and then I started it as I started making the book. I started thinking, well, let me ask questions. Let me have myself ask questions to myself about life and things that I'm learning. So some of the questions were like, what piece of yourself do you long for someone to truly see? And obviously it's a lonely chair looking at two other people. So I did 56 chairs and I made them into cards, a deck of cards for reflection, but I also made a whole book and I'm releasing it next month on Amazon. So that's one of the things I'm doing. And this is Become the Data That Matters. This is a technology thing that I'm working on that I want to make it digital, where all this is animated in and it's about a robot coming to Earth and looking at how he views society and making sure that society remembers that, listen, being human is really cool. And how he wants to be just like a human, be different but the same inside. Or robots for humans, we believe in you. So, and then my last project, which is the one I really want to work on, is this, I Am Harlem. And I think it's really cool. And I think there's a lot of kids out there that aren't engaged because, no offense, they don't listen to jazz. They want to be on Instagram. They want to do digital things. They want things that are integrated with something digital. And I know tech, so I think it would be interesting to do like an AR project. I was really excited about the design thing because it was like, wow, it would be cool to go reach out to schools and say, how do you view Harlem in the next 100 years?
Right.
And have them do some Afrofuturism artwork, which is what I'm doing right now. I have 25 drawings currently made. I only came to show you two today because I know what my time was like. But this is one of them. I Am Harlem.
I love it.
And I have huge prints, and I want to do a limited edition run. One of the things I want to do is obviously donate some of this artwork to you guys and say, hey, what can we do with it? What would be cool? It's going to be 25 pieces. Some of them are actually drawings of Apollo 20, 30 years from now, architecturally designed differently and looks super cool. And here's another one, I Am Harlem. And that's it, really. And if you guys want to reach out to me, definitely reach out to me. Let me know. Love to talk to you as individuals and say like, hey, here's some cool things we can do together. And I'll be glad to sit with you, sketch the artwork, maybe do some artwork, maybe do some digital artwork too, where we can kind of do some cool designs. And that's pretty much my presentation. I just want to be here and be involved and see how I can help. I also want to talk to you about maybe the library you're talking about. I think it's amazing. I think kids all have really amazing stories, but sometimes they can't story tell. So I wanted to make something maybe that we could work on, or if they want to work on it, called Connected Stories. I've always wanted to do that, where we have a kid draw a picture, say, how do you view Harlem, and have them make us one or two sentences, and let another kid make the next sentence and the next sentence, and we interconnect it, and we make it a walkthrough through the entire Harlem area. So you have to see the entire story, but you have to walk through all of Harlem to see it. So now you're integrating it where you're making people not just go to one event, but actually experience the entire Harlem area as a whole. These are the things I think will connect us more efficiently and make people more involved. And again, if you guys want to talk, definitely we can create all these things. We can do them. I just need to know where to go, who to talk to, so we can work on it together. So that's it.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you for your
presentation.
Go ahead, you have a question? What is your fund? You funding all of this yourself?
I'll just do it because I want to help. Because I think a lot of it is like put up or shut up, right? Like people always talk about, oh yeah, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that. If I have the art, here you go. Tell me what you're gonna do with it. Let's do it, you know?
I have two contacts at two different libraries. I will
Okay.
give you their information and I'll give you a contact at Harlem School of the Arts.
Yeah, like the I Am Harlem thing, I did 25 of those. They're sitting at home. I'm like, well, what do I do with them? They're all Afrofuturism art, but what can I do with them? Or how can I give them to someone? Or how can we go, hey, can we give this to a school and tell kids, do your Afrofuturism art? Tell us what you see Harlem looking like 40, 50 years from now. Or your art design thing, like, oh my God, this is the architecture from this era. What do you think it's gonna look like?
Right.
How can we make it better for you? Oh, one more thing before we go. The other thing that I think would be interesting to do here, I think Victor and I had talked about it, how sometimes the difficulty is raising money for these things, right? I did a project in Brazil. Right after I left BLS, I went and project managed and did the largest e-commerce site in Brazil. And one of the things we did, and I thought that was interesting because we wanted to raise money, right, for the community. And we're like, oh my God, how do we raise money? People want to give, but they don't want to give online sometimes because it's just a pain. Nobody wants to go online, have to fill out all the paperwork and everything. So what we ended up doing is we created two turnstiles. And we could do this all throughout Harlem and have it be a thing. And we could actually talk to the MTA or somebody about it. But we made a project called Walk for Change and Change the World. And what it was is we made two turnstiles, one here and maybe one half a block down. And while people were going to work, what they did was they could walk through the turnstile, they could just put their change in and just keep walking. So therefore, people are just donating without necessarily thinking about it. And then they have the opportunity to go to the website and vote where they wanted that money to go for that month to that community. So we all walk every single day. So if there's a turnstile somewhere in Harlem where you're walking around and you're like, oh my God, if I just walk through this turnstile and put 5 cents or 10 cents and just walk to the end of the block and I get this moment by myself and I exit, how much change are you really collecting in a month that you can help the community? Another interesting thing is, why aren't we going to like the MoMA or some of those places and saying, look, we've got brilliant kids here in Harlem. We'd love to work with you guys. And this is another thing that we did was we did a project where it was art for kids. And we would ask them questions in schools like, how do you view society? Or how do you view your neighborhood? Or how do you view your parents? And they would draw all this artwork. And what we would do is we'd encapsulate it digitally, scan it all, and then we'd tell them, look, you're going to be at the MoMA on July 4th at 3:45 for 30 seconds. And then anybody that liked that artwork could get it printed out and the donation would go back to the community. So it would teach them to give back. So again, there's ways to create funding without people feeling like, oh my God, I can't do it. And then we can basically use that funding to basically fund some of these other things that we're having difficulty getting money for. Right? So just 2 cents.
I particularly like the idea of going to the libraries to do the story with the kids, since this is a very multicultural district. Yeah, and the thing they have now with the migrants and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they have stories. You know, all these stories pieces together. And I said, Joel, let's also give you a suggestion. We have a youth and education libraries committee also.
Okay.
And they deal specifically with issues dealing with children and young adults. So you might want to present your idea to them too.
Yeah, and we can do emotions. Like we can go, how do you feel about society? How are you feeling? We can also get a bird's eye view of how these kids are feeling because they're doing the artwork and they're doing all these things, and you get to see it and kind of experience it with them. And again, these are things that if I know who to reach and we can sit and talk, we can really
May I jump in here?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh. Huh?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Hi. What is your name?
Oh, Braulio. How are you?
Mario.
Braulio.
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 Hi, my name is Yuen Chin, and I'm sitting here and I'm totally, I'm all in. I mean, it's what you're doing is I'm so excited by it, and I'd love to connect you to a few people. What is it? The digital and the digital and the virtual reality projects that you were just talking about. I have just been, as recent as 2 weeks ago, talking to Paul Deal, who is also experimenting with digital virtual reality and animation, and I'd love to connect you two.
I
And
love.
also Street Lab, who last Friday we had a meeting with Brotherhood Sister Soul, trying to reimagine their Street Lab kits. That is, the kits are used throughout the city during the summer, and they're kits that are that aim to get kids excited about whether it's the environment or art or architecture. So we've had one meeting so far, and I'd like to connect you with them as well. The third thing is you can do plazas and you can do parks. Department of Transportation, they just put out a call about a month ago for artists, to work in the public realm, beautifying like the plazas, actually painting on the street. And the Parks Department also has a program to beautify basketball courts. And there, if you want to look at an example, a couple of years ago they did one at in Marcus Garvey and also St. Nicholas Ballpark, going towards the 135th. So there are programs in place if you present it. I think the Parks Department does have a little bit of money. They like you to come with sponsorship or whatever, but I could connect you with Tapashi. So if I'll give you my email.
Okay.
And if you send me your contact, it's YUIEN at
Hold on. YUN.
No, YUIEN at Harlem, ONESTOP.org.
.org.
Yeah. So, and I will connect you to those people that I mentioned, as well as I'd love to talk to you about it. We're doing the celebration of the Harlem Renaissance Centennial. It's a multi-year thing. And one of the things I was talking to the artist Dia about is to have a panel to talk about art, then, now, and the future, as and in terms of what he's doing with the animation and the murals, and and connecting those styles or genre, over the years.
Great.
So you would be great on the panel.
Is he doing 3D animation using Blender or anything like that?
I don't know the technical names, but yes, he is.
Okay, great. I'd love to talk.
But when you talk to him, you'll find out exactly what method he's using. But we've been talking about like doing an animated thing of someone walking through Harlem, virtual reality, 3D placing you in different locations, that sort of thing. So I'm really excited by everything that you've talked about, and there are people out there that are actually doing a little bit or some of those things that you could connect with.
That we have those resources. I think we have those resources, Yuan. I think we just have to reach out to them and ask sometimes. And I think, again, I was mentioning to Victor, there's a lot of young people that don't know about it. It's weird, but they actually don't know about these community boards. I mentioned it to them. I mentioned it to My friend Andrew Clark, he's a UX UI guy who was trained by the director who works for, who's a good friend of mine, Luke Miller, for National Geographics. He was like, "You do that stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then Moko Choa, who is a publisher who just did the book for, what is the Last Survivor of Tulsa? She lives here in Harlem. And I mentioned it to her. She's like, "Really?" She's at the Met Gala tonight. She's just sitting next to, she said, "Tell them I would do stuff with them." But they're not aware of it. So we need to somehow find a way to make these people more aware that are younger, but are really interested. You know, they're in their 30s. I mean, I'm an old man now. I'm in my
Well,
I'm old.
well, shame on the educational system for dropping civics. Then they would know about the community boards. Unfortunately, you know. Anyway, this is fabulous. Yeah.
And I want to connect more young people because they're the ones who are like, I want to be seen. I want to create stuff.
Right, right.
Me, but they don't
Harlem,
really know.
Harlem School of the Arts has a digital program. So, you know, when you send me your contact information, I'll connect you to the executive director there. But they've got a really great digital program for young kids.
Absolutely, would love to. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Okay, Jazz Power Initiative, it didn't make it tonight. We're going to go, no, I don't think there's any new business, so we're gonna go
Did
into.
we, his presentation?
Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna.
I can't do it.
I can still bring it up here.
And someone, I didn't send it to me as a link,
But isn't it in your
I got
email?
If we-
the link, but I can't project it, cause I can't,
But it's in your email, right?
it's in my email?
Did you say you have it in your email?
Right now.
Is this got Wi-Fi? I mean, is it
Yeah,
Wi-Fi?
yeah, Wi-Fi.
Oh, so I thought he said he had. Maybe you didn't have it sent to your email.
I got it. I got it in my email as well.
So if you want to log into your email, if you can do it.
Yeah, you should be, yeah.
Every time you email, I mean, go to email.com and log it from there. And you should get it. So.
What is that huge picture of Trump doing up there? Is it you displaying it in the community board?
We were throwing pies at it.
We won't look at your email. No.
I'm trying to remember what it is.
All right.
I had the same problem. I always forget my password.
Like, so remember? Oh, my person doesn't spell my name right.
I know you have an announcement you want to
Cable, only because of the weather and my family is on. Sure, we understand. That, either follow, either to follow, that the students at DTH, we have, they're in the years. So they said many of us are in the years, we have to follow. This was pretty much a sold out event last year, and that's why I think it'll come back this year. It won't be, I'm not sure what's gonna happen next year, but it's the only time that you'll be able to get to see. It's one of those unique times that you'll be able to get to see the students, and the company for the price of one. So, and it's at the Apollo, so I just encourage you to share with your families and communities that this is happening. It's I have something. We distributed it as well.
That's what I was gonna say, I need to see it, yes.
Yeah, last year was absolutely.
Do you have tickets?
I don't have tickets for me, but all the information is on the QR code and they are growing. The parents, you can snap them up with their families, but yeah.
Oh, you get some-
It's on you now.
Yes, I'm talking, you got 2 tickets right here.
No, we don't do anything in person.
Oh, we have to do it on the,
And
no.
it's the digital world, everything.
You're talking about old people, see?
But,
And I'm, so when I saw you today.
yes, please. Listen, and I do wanna speak to you too.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Listen, I'm a resource. Talk to me.
Oh,
I'd love to talk to you guys.
Yes.
I mean,
All right. Stop the presentation.
knock it out.
I'll make her.
You got it. You forgot. You remember
You
your
got it?
password.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, right?
Design in Harlem is eye candy, bold, black, innovation, timeless, dope. Harlem historically has been a real center for Black culture in this country and the world.
you're approaching the Africa Center, you'll see this big Black Lives Matter sign, and that's really important to us. I just really like what was going on up here in Harlem. I like the way it was unfolding, and I felt like I wanted to be a part of the foundation and the framework of a community.
We really try to create an environment that's inclusive, try to create an environment that is barrier free. We are a family-owned boutique. We have a lot of history here. Malcolm X, this is actually his home. So this is a landmark in Harlem.
The gallery scene is not just in Lower Manhattan. There is a living and thriving art community here right in Central Harlem.
So the goal was really, I wanted to make sure that I get the business community also involved. And hearing people, when I actually talk to a lot of business owners that say two things to me: I'm just trying to keep the lights on, trying to make payroll. It's really hard to do like marketing and promotion. So this is NYC by Design. As I mentioned to you guys before, there are a lot of folks that come for the week. They're selling furniture, they're selling all different types of stuff. So the idea was, how can we get them to come uptown? And these are some of the tracks that they actually have, as I said: architecture, interior design, product design, graphic design, landscape architecture. So these have been, during the week, all of the different things that are kind of going on. I try to get as many numbers as possible to show the pictures, say these big opportunities that are really available to us. As I mentioned, it's in all 5 boroughs. They have over 280 events that happen during the whole week. So there's a number of different things that are actually going on. And this is, real quick, the video that we did.
Take one.
Last year.
Harlem is the mecca of culture. Harlem is a curiosity overload, revealing, seeking knowledge, mystery, and truth.
Today, I just really want everybody to know that Harlem is an amazing space. It's been my home for the past 30 years. And I want to invite everyone up to be able to see the amazing design and the design elements that are actually here. So I'm really excited about that, and hopefully you guys will be able to come and visit.
Design is everywhere. Design is in food, it's in clothing, it's in the rich history of the architecture and the design that we live in, that we breathe in. There is nowhere that you can go where design is not available.
So my name's Fiju St. Louis, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist based here in Harlem. And the reason why I'm attached to New York City by Design is my background in design with the combination of community and artwork that I've been doing here. To be the inaugural artist for the Harlem Design District space is an honor, because Harlem has always been home to art, to this renaissance of ideas and imagery, and to continue that forward with the idea that we're also embedding design into it is really a pinnacle for where Harlem is going for the future.
Design definitely plays a major part, because it's all about construct for an artist. It's also about direction and planning. Fiji St. Louis, who is an architect as well as a creative. It's in the planning where you figure out a lot of the details.
For Nyla to be part of the launch of the New York Design Harlem activation has been really a great opportunity, because it's beautiful to be able to show other folks from downtown, other parts of the world, all of the creativity, the design that lives in Harlem, but to further all of the other capacities that design exists.
When you talk about art, culture, sports, you name it, there is an icon in Harlem that you can point to. When I think of Harlem design, the word that comes to mind is creativity.
Harlem Fashion Week came about because we really saw that there was a need to be able to provide access for fashion designers here in the Harlem community that was affordable.
I think what inspires design for me is identity. Once you understand your identity, you understand who you are as a person, and you're inspired not just by what you see around you, but also the makeup of your being.
To me, design is all about intentionality, thoughtfulness. There's this idea, I feel like, with all artists and creatives, that we wake up and we're very ephemeral.
and then creativity just happens. Like we just spout it out. Design is about that slow and methodical process of understanding your work, being intimate with the details, and creating a message. I think that's most cohesive.
Harlem means music. Harlem means that it's loud. Harlem means that it's beautiful. Harlem means that it's a church. It's a sermon. It's love. It's joy. It's also sometimes a little sad, but it's always poetry.
It's liveliness. It's this underbelly of wealth of knowledge of culture, especially for Black people.
When I think of Harlem design, I think of all the ways that our culture has become part of our built environment. We have the buildings, the tile work, the fabric, it's all embedded in us.
Harlem moved to China. I know nothing finer than to be in
Wait, I have a billion questions for him.
It's absolutely fabulous.
I'd like to both of you. I was involved in a project called Streetscapes. This is the inception of Columbia in conjunction with City College. They're trying to digitize the neighborhood, your area. They're starting with the street, the street itself, the actual physical location of the street to, like, say you're handicapped and they will let you know that there's construction on that street. They will give you a signal on your phone. But in addition to the theaters, the whole theaters in Harlem, I can think about 5 of them that are no longer here. If you look in Harlem now, there's these purple signs that are around. They're landmarks of people who used to live there or something. So they want to do the same thing with the theaters. So as you walk, like I did my college work study at the 137th Street Theater, right around the corner from Abyssinia. Not the new Heritage. Anyway, it was there, Federal Theater, and not that one either. Anyway, it's gone now. It's a apartment building. They tore the whole theater down, and also the ballroom was on the corner. Yeah, Savoy, and the theater was right next to it. And the New Lafayette. That's what it was. The New Lafayette. So
Lafayette there, Jeff.
Walk, go through and you do with tourism as you walk through. Oh, this is where so and so used to be. This is where so and so lived. This is where Malcolm X did his first speech on 25th. So all that's going to be part of this project. It's funded by the NIH. I'm hoping that Jack Heine doesn't pull funding from it, but it looks like they're funded for a while. So it's an ongoing project. They already started it in Florida. So we had a chance to see what some of it looks like. They just did the street part in Florida, but they want to do all the cultural institutions, et cetera, since we're so rich in culture, So that's up and coming and it's already in progress. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, should we
I do, yes.
Right.
Mhm.
And our next item of business is the RKO restoration.
Well, he's referenced my information. I was informed that I really shouldn't get too happy with it, but he gave more information than I was allowed to present tonight. But yes, there's some real positive progress with the theater. They're talking about they got in touch with Akhenazi. I think there's some figures being done. Also, West Harlem Arts Alliance is involved. So WHCC as well. WHCC. So it's preliminary, so I don't want to kick out anything. Okay, in particular, we can get tickets through the Q code, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to get tickets tonight. That's the way you. Yeah. So
I'll help away.
I'll definitely be there. It's preliminary, but it's really looking good. It's looking. At least it's the ball is rolling. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna say anything is started or anything is happening. But it's really more progress than we've had in a while.
But you haven't met with him,
No, because I was told I should go through with our WHTC liaison, which is Pat Walker Johnson. So she should be involved with it's at their meetings. So this is what I understand is supposed to be a closed meeting. This is an open meeting. You know, have you been? Okay. Well, I find I told talked to Daniel to come on today. So because I was involved there with before when we first started the project, we went inside, we took pictures and everything. So I was involved before, but it just kind of fell off by the wayside. But now that everything is kind of picking up, it's looking good. Plus the housing piece, because they're going to do a double house piece, and we'll take one to theater and maybe.
Who's doing the evaluation of the property?
I'm sorry?
Who's doing the evaluation of the
Preliminary, all preliminary, so this is just rumblings, so nothing concrete has happened yet, but it's looking good.
Okay, great, thank you. And
It was evaluated before, wasn't it?
Well,
Wasn't there an evaluation before?
there was an ad hoc committee that went in.
Yeah. The developers that were involved, I thought, did an evaluation.
Yes, was
Yeah.
Harlem. They were interested in being the anchor.
no, I'm talking about to do an evaluation of the property to see how.
Oh, we didn't get to the
Yeah.
architect.
Remember, we were talking about having Columbia.
Columbia and or city, either or, yeah, we can get that far.
Okay. Now this is a vote that is required by the community board members. And I am requesting a vote on spending money to pay for the food for the showcase for the youth event reception on 6/21. If we find another group to participate.
So. Agree.
Okay. If there's no more business, we're ready to adjourn at 7:15. Thank you. I still have some.
We need your stuff. You know, go funny, it's not anything about that Yeah.
I'm not sure you that in a minute.
And then there's a Mr. Edwards, you know, he's a rich man, you could really get donations to him. And you can call him on Sundays.
Did you give this information to
Yes.
Yeah, and he's going to present there as well.
So it'd be interesting. I mean, I had told him, he said you should go to these community boards because they're meet people.
There you go.
Yes. There'll be some interesting stuff.
And then the general board too, the general board, the girls club, yeah, they're gonna do some good work
Like,
there.
I even like, because we're doing architecture, like.
All right.
I'm having a section if we can find an area. I agree that that's actually, it's helping, and I'm volunteering my time to sit there and be like, hey, draw me in Harlem. In 125, you could store all those pictures for this building, frame them, right? And even do an event on that, based off of your entire.
It's getting, joining an organization that already has a base of children.
Yeah.
If you don't have that base.
Is it really that hard to get them to come back?
Yeah.
On the floor.
I want to think about that because I think that there's also ways that we can sort of have people